Hi everyone, Melissa here. Today I want to talk to you about what to do if you are a newly diagnosed mama with chronic illness. So I've got 5 tips for you here. Now, I talk about life in the messy middle. So life as a person with small children, a house, a part-time job, a blog, all the things. Some of us are caring for aging relatives. Some of us are caring for people who are unwell. Some of us are caring for people with fibromyalgia and ME/CFS that are quite advanced. We're all very busy. So I'm talking to those people who are trying to figure it all out in amongst the whole of life. And so today I thought, let's talk a little bit about perhaps the newly diagnosed mama, or perhaps the mama who's just kind of getting a sense of, oh my gosh, I've got to figure this out now. You likely feel overwhelmed, exhausted, in pain, maybe a little bit validated. I hope a little bit validated. That was a long time coming for me. And maybe a little unsure what to do next. And so I want to provide some kind of succinct guidance, but also a little bit of hope. I've worked really hard in the last 12 years and I've made a lot of progress and I have come a long way. So I do believe we can improve our quality of life. I do believe it's quite a juggle when you have small ones because your time is not your own, your body is not your own. But I do believe we can improve our quality of life. And so that's kind of why I've created 5 tips for us. So I don't want to overload you. I do have a blog post where you can go and catch the extra links, but let's keep it concise and simple. But the first thing I think is very important is to learn. So a good understanding of what's happening in your body is crucial, and the more informed you are, the more that you can help yourself. There will likely be times when you need to advocate for yourself. I don't believe that we can improve without slowing down and methodically implementing plans to manage all of the different parts of these conditions. Now, I think appropriate diagnosis is very important and much harder than it can seem. We need to know what it is we have going on. Are there other perpetuating factors, other conditions, what symptoms? We need to be really clear of the situation for ourselves. And then if you're thinking of how to treat fibromyalgia by current best practice and research, one book I'd recommend is Fibro Manual by Ginevra Lipton. She is a doctor who has fibromyalgia herself. I'm waiting for her to do an update because she's obviously she's following the research. She submitted a paper herself, so she is someone to definitely follow. And her book is a great one to start with because it breaks down all the parts of treatment, and it is complex. I don't think it's 100% everything. I think it's a great start. I've also written a book, Fibromyalgia Won't Win. It's my whole journey along this way, and so that's everything that's personally helped me. And I think it's really important to read from some research and evidence-based, but also from people who have actually kind of been there and done that as well, because it is so complex. And current research, while helpful and wonderful, doesn't have many answers for us yet. If you need help explaining it to your children, I have actually got a book called My Mama Has Fibromyalgia, and I'm about to release a book, or probably when this video comes out, I have just released a book called My Mama Has Chronic Pain. And that just helps you explain it to your child to get a little bit of understanding inside your home. It's not bad for a spouse or family members. Number 2 is get help. Take a look at what you've got going on and see where you can get help. Do you need more childcare? Easier said than done, I know it's expensive. Can you get some help around the house in any way whatsoever? Can you get your kids helping? And yes, kids should be contributing in their house. Research shows that it helps with their sense of belonging when that they know that they're needed and they have a place like that. Can your partner help more? Maybe your brother, your sister, your mother, anything to just get a little bit of support. Can you reduce your work hours? Perhaps you need to relax your own expectations. I find sometimes it's those internal biases we're carrying that can be half the problem. But you're going to have to recognize your energy envelope is different, and you're going to need to slow down. And if you're a busy mama, you're going to need help. And then create rhythms in your day and simplify things. So say no to the 7 extracurricular activities and maybe choose 1. Prioritize what's important for you. Our kids, they're older too, have 1 sport per season. which is 2 terms of the school year. And generally my husband will take care of the actual sports practices and games. I have to help now because of Saturday morning logistics, but generally I've been the one with the little kids and he deals with that. But try to figure out how to spread that out. They don't need to do lots and lots of extracurricular activities. And I don't believe that they're missing out, and there's ways to get those things done at home as well. Number 3, figure out your management plans. So hopefully you've got some medicinal help if you've got a diagnosis. In a dream world, you would have been given some holistic recommendations such as supplements, nutritional support, gentle movement advice from someone who understands your diagnosis, stress management, and more. But otherwise, my blog will provide you with a wealth of knowledge. Prioritize sleep, pain, and energy management. Those are really important, and I've got some important videos on that. I've got a pain management plan, a really helpful pain management plan. I call it the if this then that plan, and it has been the most proactive way to get on top of pain, which helps everything else. You support your pain, you support your sleep. You support your sleep, you support your pain, you support your energy. It all just works together. But make plans for your key big symptoms. Number 4, find some good relaxation techniques. So learn to de-stress and turn on that parasympathetic nervous system or the rest and digest mode. Now look, I know you're busy, but my secret sauce as a mama with 4 10 years old and under with fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome is yoga nidra guided meditation, and is my number 1 recommendation to anybody anytime. If you've got fibromyalgia or chronic fatigue syndrome, you're just feeling stressed or overwhelmed or tired, you're just a random mama with no health issues, I recommend adding rest. And I actually do recommend this as the first thing. If you're exhausted and overwhelmed, instead of trying to figure out all these things and get your brain around it, take some rest. So I would recommend trying to find some time each day to do a 15, 20, 30, or even 40-minute yoga nidra meditation. You could do it first thing in the morning, as a rest break at lunch, when the baby is napping, while the toddler is resting, straight after work, right before bed. You get the idea. But if you haven't conquered sleep yet and you're stuck awake in the night, do it then. It's just so important, I've found, to calm that nervous system. It's not just that superficial stress, it is that deep autonomic nervous system dysfunction that we need to start managing. And the benefit of a good full meditation is that you are supplementing your rest and your lack of sleep, and you are giving your body just the chance to completely melt and relax. My other secret sauce is breathing breaks. Again, when I'm feeling overwhelmed or I'm tired or I'm in a lot of pain, I do some gentle breathing. Simply make your exhale a bit longer than your inhale, or just notice your breath for a few minutes. Just hone in and pay attention. But by slowing that breath down again, you're calming the nervous system. The last suggestion for this section is to find some stretches that help and do them regularly throughout the day. Cat and cow pose is great for mobilizing the back. I used to do that a lot. Neck stretches and child's pose, these are all great one-off tools. I have a free yoga series that goes through my 4 favorite yoga tools. They're all 10 minutes or less, and they're all very accessible, so you can grab that in the link below. But I think that's really important and shouldn't be underestimated, is that whole calming the nervous system, and not in a superficial way. Now, number 5, we've touched on a little bit, but see what helps others. I share what helps me in case it helps you, because an annoying truth of fibromyalgia is that what helps one may not help another. So what doesn't help one may actually help another. I share what helps me most at this point, and I've taken myself from moderate to mild with everything I do, even with a whole heap of complexity, even factoring in interstitial cystitis, endometriosis, chronic fatigue syndrome, hypermobility, the list goes on. And I share everything that I've learned, and I share research, and I share anecdotal evidence, because I know that that's really important. If you do go looking for an online support group, please just be mindful of that overall atmosphere of the group. I personally avoid any ones for venting. I look for positive and proactive groups, and I look for recovery and improvement stories that are genuine, not people that are thinly veiled sales pitches. You may need that, ability to vent, and that might be great for you, but I've noticed for my mental well-being, it doesn't help me to be focusing on the negative. But see what works for others, and you will start to see some things that might work for you. So those are my key things, and I'll just quickly reiterate. 1, learn what it is you're dealing with. 2, get some help. 3, figure out your management plans, your symptom management plans. 4, get some good relaxation techniques, get some rest. 5, see what works for others. And I guess connect as well as part of that. Now, I have got a lot of resources for you, and it's going to take you some time to work through it. If this is very fresh for you, it's going to take you a lot of time. But I have got resources for pacing, so managing your energy. I talk about low-dose naltrexone, which is the medicine that changed my life, recovery factor supplement, natural pain management options. I talk about the different conditions. So I've got posts on myofascial pain syndrome, chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, endometriosis, and interstitial cystitis, POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. So, I mean, there are over 300 posts on my blog and here on the YouTube. So when you're ready, find the posts you want to look back on. But in the meantime, while you're potentially overwhelmed, lean into those 5 tips. And if you really need one tip to lean in on, get some rest. Prioritize it. Teach everybody in your house and yourself that every day you need that rest, and find something that really resonates for you. It might not be yoga nidra for you, but something that gives you that real deep rest is just so important. This is primarily about you so that you can put on your own oxygen mask first, so to speak. I've got a ton of resources for you here. Like I said, I've got a book, which is kind of a concise way to get to it all. But if you need to break it right down, start with these 5 tips. Let me know if you've been around here a while. What are your top tips? What would you recommend? What would be your 1, 2, 3, 4 top tips for someone who's newly diagnosed, and perhaps they also have, children and responsibilities as well? So most of us. Thank you for that, and I'll catch you again soon.